Hello, hello, hello. So what's new? Oh, well, the public execution of the Liver King is what's new because he's been exposed now, don't you see? And for the past 2 or whatever days, 2.5 days maybe, I've been perusing Clown World. And Clown World, by the way, if you hear me refer to Clown World, that's what YouTube Fitness is. The new name, my new name for YouTube Fitness is Clown World. So I've been perusing Clown World, and all the various resident clowns have already chimed in and made their videos about Liver King, one behind the other after the other, just spitting out the same freaking information basically off of the same allegedly leaked email documents and all this bullshit, right? Now, as of today, some of the chief residents of Clown World have actually made 2 or more videos already about Liver King. So I'm running behind. I got to get something out there. We got to strike while the iron is hot because you know that matters so much to me. Anyway, and so my feelings on it, I can't help but think, where did men go in the world? Where have men gone? Where the fuck are they at? You know, the most sensible video that I've seen so far on the whole Liver King topic and the whole Liver King exposed issue is by Black Scout Survival. That's the most sensible video, the most adult video that I've seen on the subject so far, pretty much. Black Scout Survival. But I guess Liver King, you know, he had pretty far-reaching tentacles to his allure and his appeal and his publicity machine. So it affects more than apparently just Clown World, but mostly Clown World owns it. But what I mean by, you know, what has happened to men in our society is, you know, when I grew up, there were all kind of things, you know, you learn at an early age, don't put your hand on the hot stove. Don't go poking shit into the outlet. You eventually, you learn to cross the street safely. You learn to be able to cross the street by yourself and survive it. And that could be all over the place. Some places you may go to cross the street, very little traffic, hardly any cars going by all day long. It's out in the country somewhere, right? But then you may end up in a city or find yourself in some shithole like that, and traffic's everywhere, cars flying up and down the road, people with total disrespect, no consideration for others, and you may have to weave in and out of traffic and take a little bit of a chance and pick your pace up a bit to get across the road. Maybe more dangerous, but still you manage. You know how to cross the road. That's you don't look for somebody's hand to take a hold of. Hey, can you help me cross this busy street? I've never crossed a road this busy before. You're an adult now. You know how to cross the road. So, you know, like when I was a kid, there were all kind of fucking misleading advertisements out there, and I remember there was one that was for sea monkeys. Grow your own sea monkeys. It was like 10 cents or $1 or whatever the hell it was over the various years that I saw it. And it was in comic books and other magazines, advertisements for it, right? These little sea monkeys, and I'll put a picture in here to show you what they look like. And these little bastards didn't look like, they were part amphibian, but they were some kind of science fiction type of creature. They were like small, a whole colony. You could have create your own little colony of these beings, and that's how they were advertised. You can see the depictions of the advertisements, that there's males and there are females and there are children, and you know, they look similar to people. They're not a fish, they're not a shrimp, but they look similar to people. So guess what? I didn't believe it and fall for it. As just a child. But I'm sure there were plenty of people that got these things, these sea monkeys, and they found out that, wow, these little sea monkeys, they don't look like, if you got down there with a magnifying glass or even a microscope, maybe you might have found out that they don't even look like the beings that are depicted as in the advertisements. This is false advertising. For God's sake, help us. How can they do this? You know? But I never fell for it. Just common sense. Even at that young age, I had acquired and developed enough common fucking sense. I don't believe it. I'm not convinced. you know, being a skinny kid. I was even so skinny at one point when I was younger that you could see my ribs. And I didn't feel comfortable like that. I felt like that I looked like a walking skeleton. I didn't even want to go to the beach and take my shirt off. I was embarrassed when I was very young, when I was a kid, because I was so skinny, right? There were ads by Charles Atlas and a lot of others, and I'll put some of them in here, and they also appeared in newspapers and comic books and magazines, you know, and the one showed the guy on the beach, he's got a girl with him on a blanket, and here comes this, you know, diesel dude comes walking by, and or is running around doing what, playing volleyball, whatever the fuck he's doing, right? Demonstrating feats of strength and athleticism, whatever he may be doing on the beach, but he kicks up sand and it gets on their blanket and gets on the skinny dude, and the girl that's with him, and the skinny dude says, "Hey, quit kicking sand in our faces." And the guy snatches him up and says to him, "I'd punch you, but I'm afraid you'd blow away." This entire video, right, is this message I'm getting to you. People just believe everything you say. They just believe anything. They believe it all. And then at the same time, they believe nothing. They believe nothing, but yet they believe it all. All throughout history, throughout time, there's been somebody that had something to sell you that marketed it in a way that was fantastical and got your attention and made outlandish and wild claims. It's nothing new. And there was never anybody there, another man, to think that it was his duty and his mission to explain it to all the other men. You know, it's just, I'm not saying that it's right. It's not right. It's dishonest. Of course it's dishonest. Absolutely, 100%. But what I am saying is that everybody acts like, I don't know, you know, like just makes much ado about nothing, you know. And then when you ask people about this and that, you're not bullshit, everybody gets real tender about it and it triggers them. Well, I don't want people to have unreal expectations. Every fucking thing in this capitalistic society is geared toward you having unrealistic expectations if you're fool enough to believe it. You know, if you believe everything comes down the pike wholeheartedly like that, it's so bad that it's just crushing to you. You know, and I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. Everybody likes to see somebody fall. Everybody likes to see somebody fall. And if you can find a way to say, well, they deserve that because they're dishonest, they've lied, blah, 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 which is all true, then you even enjoy it more, right? Because then that relieves you. I'm entitled to feel this way. This person's a bad person. The whole supplement industry is geared this way. There have been supplements that I've used. I used BPI at one time. Why? Because some people that I kind of respected and looked at as really good bodybuilders with accomplished physiques were sponsored and they advertised for BPI at the time. So I said, well, it's good enough for them. I'm going to give it a try. And reading what the label said, fits the bill, it's good shit. Well, lo and behold, it didn't meet label claims. Remember all that shit that came down with the spiking of the protein and all that bullshit? Right, amino spiking? Yeah. So, another company, first company many, many years ago that ever gave me shit, that ever gave me time of day, their product was delicious. It turned out they had a big class action suit because it contained, I don't know if it's just trace amounts or whatever, but they were detectable amounts of lead and arsenic in it. Here I've been consuming how much of this shit? I don't use their shit anymore. They're still out there. They've changed the packaging. They're a very strong brand. I don't use their shit. I don't use BPI shit. Maybe their shit's the best out there now. I don't use it, you know? So I've been had, but it's going to take a lot more to get me today. You know what I mean? Is it right that there are people out there and companies out there trying to scam you and get over on you and will lie and all this shit? Of course it's not right. It's dishonest. It's not good. But, you know, they didn't make me buy their product. They sold me on it with their advertising, you know, including whoever they had, athletes pushing their products, etc., etc. So this is nothing new. You know what I mean? Everybody in clown world, most of the biggest names in clown world, come on. They're all trying to sell you fucking something. They're all trying to sell you something. And do you think that the shit that all of them across the board, every one of them has the greatest shit on the shelf? The shit they're trying to sell you is better than everybody else's? They're all trying to sell you something. They all make a living from clown world. You know. That's all I'm saying is I don't feel that it relieves anybody of the responsibility for self. You know, nolo contendere. Let the buyer beware shit. What happened to all that? You know, if you're so fucking naive that you get got all the time, well, I'm sorry, but this is the world you're living in. I pity you, but you're going to have to toughen up and wisen up, or you're going to continue to get got. Ultimately, if you try anything, who's going to be the judge and jury over that it was worth it? Who's going to be judge and jury? Another man going to tell you if it was worth it? You're going to try it, and you're going to have to be able to come to your own conclusion. Hey, I'm going to stick with this. I'm seeing benefits from this I don't normally see from another competitor's brand or another type or whatever it could be, whatever the fucking product is. You're the one that makes that decision. And everybody's entitled to that opinion. There are all different kind of cars out there, all different kind of trucks out there. Everybody doesn't agree on which one is actually best. Many of them, I work on vehicles for a living, have for 40 fucking years. Very highly skilled, very technical shit. There are definitely vehicles out there that I wouldn't touch, no matter how shiny they are or sleek they are, because they are besieged with fucking problems. Are any of them perfect? No. But some are better than others. Does that stop people from buying the ones that I feel are not good? No. And they're a lot less qualified than I am to make a choice. But they still are entitled to make their choice, and it's their fucking choice. And if you know what a technical service bulletin is, then you understand that these vehicles you're buying, they very often have all kind of fucked up shit wrong with them that are design defects, that are engineering flaws. Now, what's more dishonest than that? You bought it, you paid for it in good faith, and it wasn't correct. It had an engineering flaw built into it. Do you think they'll fix it for free? No. Most of the time, they will not. The majority of the time, they do not. They will do it if they're made to do it. If the fucking Highway Safety fucking Administration believes that it's not safe. It causes an accident, it causes a fatality. If it's got to do with fire or brakes or something like this, or the thing could quit running while you're going down the road, cause an accident, or steering, something huge like that, they'll recall and they'll fix it. But there's tons of things they should recall and fix that legitimately they should. And they don't live up to it. They don't live up to it. Guess what? It's yours now. You deal with it. At best, maybe they'll give you a discounted price for the updated or upgraded parts to correct their manufacturing defect. I'm not talking shit. This goes on daily. So, in the grand scheme of things, this is the world in which we fucking live. Are you going to make it? I'm out of here. Hope I didn't trigger you. Wasn't my intention. Have a good day.